Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live from Mindset Monday. I'm here with my co-host Dave. Dave, what's happening, bud?
Jonathan, what's up, buddy? I'm good. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had an awesome weekend.
Yeah, I had a great weekend. I got to spend the entirety of Saturday at the beach. I actually met Julian from Arate.
Nice.
Got some beach time in. Um, yeah, man. I think one of the biggest things I see is people not understanding what the price of something's going to be before they start it. Right? Everyone has these goals. Everyone has these dreams. Everyone has these visions and for their company, for their team, for their life. But before as you're thinking about what your goals are, as you're thinking about, where you want to take your company or your team, you got to understand that there's going to be a high price to pay. There's going to be sacrifice. And if you don't commit to making those sacrifices beforehand, how are you going to get through and actually accomplish what you're trying to accomplish? Your team has to be aware of it. You have to be aware of it. And that could be, think about what you're sacrificing. You could be sacrificing time. Okay. So weekends or nights with your family, if you're trying to build a business, you could be sacrificing money, the money it costs to start up whatever you're starting up. Okay. And then effort and energy, right? How much of your energy and effort is this going to require to make this thing happen? And until you actually look at decisions in and make decisions and plans based on what you're willing to sacrifice, it's going to be very, very tough to actually accomplish what you want to do. All right. I'll give you guys an example. I just bought a house that we're turning into an office. And I did that because I wanted a much nicer office, a much bigger office space. And I didn't want to buy commercial because commercial was going down. Okay. I knew there was a certain money element to it. The money element was I have to put a big down payment down. I have to find the property. That just took time. And then I have to work to rehab the property and build it into an office that I want. That's also going to take more money. And this entire time, right, I'm in this office that you see behind me, and I'm here for the next 5, 6 weeks, and then we have to be out of here. So there's going to be a lot of sacrifice in time in terms of time of getting everything from one office location to the other. Now, what do I get at the end? I get a brand new office that's going to be worth a lot of money and it's going to be way better for my team. But I already know the sacrifice over the next few weeks and what it's going to take. And if I wasn't ready and willing and able to sign up for that, I shouldn't have went down this path, right? It's understanding what goes into what you're trying to accomplish and how hard and how much you're willing to sacrifice. Dave, what do you have on this?
One of my favorite lines. I don't know if it's Gary Vee who said it or Andy, but it's the old pay the price today so you can pay whatever price you want down the road. It's so critical and so big, man. You take all pillars, right? A lot of what Jonathan and I speak of every week, it's a lot of financial stuff, but even the physical too, and again, having all these aligned, the mental, the physical, the spiritual, in sacrificing is a critical element because you're not going to be able to run hot, so to speak, to sacrifice those things you need to reach those goals to get to where you want to go if all those things aren't dialed in. The physical, for example, right? It's one of the big things I sacrifice and I talk about it's waking up at 4. I don't talk about that as a flex because I'll be dead honest, I fucking hate it. There's absolutely nothing I like about that. And there's nothing I like talking about it that it sounds cool to me. It sounds ridiculous, but I have to. I have to because of the schedule of how my family runs, how my wife runs when she goes to work, when her daughter leaves with her, and then after that, when my son gets to school, because there's really no logical time to fit that in throughout the day because of everything else. That's one sacrifice, right? But that sacrifice turned into a habit. The other sacrifice, there are things that you're going to have to sacrifice with your family and you are going to explain it. And then it kind of goes on the flip side too. Sometimes you got to sacrifice something in business to get back some of that time with your family. This weekend was a perfect example. For us, we had back-to-back seminars on a Saturday. It's a little scheduling conflict. And I attended both of them. We had a home buyer seminar in the morning, not far from our office. Okay. I missed my son's swimming class. And there's nothing more that I love than spending that time with my kids. Right. But also on the flip side, kind of understanding a little bit that they're young enough to where they probably won't remember those things when they're older. I will, but they won't. But that still doesn't make it an excuse either. So missed out on swimming, missed out on some time that my daughter had some stuff going on too. Then we had another one and a charity event for Raymore and Flanagan's store that we were invited to. That luckily we had some of the team running that, but I showed up later to relieve them. And then on a Saturday, didn't get home till 5:30, 6 o'clock, and was running all day, basically 9 to 5, 8 to 5 on a Saturday. But then on the flip side, my son's playing football, so it was great yesterday morning watching that. And I took my daughter to her first Phantoms game, her first hockey game yesterday.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So it was really cool. She loved it. She enjoyed it. Wasn't going to do anything yesterday because Sunday's kind of like do some stuff around the house. I said, fuck it, let's go. Right. Yeah. So, baby, you want to go to your hockey game? Sure. She hits the puck around the house all the time. I don't know where she picked that one up, but I said, hey, let's go to the ice. It's the last home game before they go to the playoffs. Let's have some fun. And she loved it, man. And to me, it was worth it. It was a long weekend. It went like that. It was long, but it went so quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, there's going to be things that you don't want to do. You have to do it. And Jonathan's favorite thing that I've learned the most since I've been around him, it's just dialing in that time, man. If you can dial in that time, you can sacrifice these things and still make time for the other things as well.
Yeah, I think the problem is, and like to highlight something, right? People always like to say they don't have time or, they don't know how they accomplish something. Well, there's always time that you can find. Like in your case, Dave, you're waking up at 4 to find that extra time to go to the gym to start your day off right. Like this morning, I know that after I come off of 75 hard, I am not as strict and regimented, and I like having that structure. So this morning I went and I did believe it or not, for no reason other than just to start the day off, I went and got 2 miles, done because I haven't done anything like that in a while, right? And it's just starting your days with those like little wins that no one else is doing, right? That helps a ton. And then after I got done running, had a little bit of family time, and then I'm in the office. It's finding time to work on projects, finding time or making the time to do things with your kids. You can find the time. You have to be creative. Like just saying that, hey, I don't have time for it. That's just a fucking cop-out excuse, right? There's always ways to find it, whether you're waking up earlier, you're staying up a little bit later, or you're finding time in between things. Like I'll tell you, Mondays, I always record the podcast end of day Mondays, and then I usually have hockey right after. Okay. So I use that time between when I'm done recording my podcast and before I have to leave for hockey to work on some other projects, right? So I find these time pockets in the week, every single week, that, I can get ahead and do some of these projects without necessarily sacrificing time on the weekends or with my family, right? It's picking and choosing. Do I want to go home for an extra hour and just, sit there and hang out? Or do I want to get more done this way? I can have a weekend, or I can do X, Y, and Z later and not feel guilty about it. Okay. Find that extra time. Understand that if you want to accomplish big things in life, if you want to move your team ahead, if you want to move ahead, if you want your family to move ahead, anything that you invest in is going to grow. Okay. And you only have a limited number of hours each day. All right. Invest in what matters and invest in what is going to move the needle. Stop getting caught up in the busy work. Most people that say they don't have time, they're the same people that are on their phone non-fucking stop. Okay. And have no time. No, seriously, dude, that's the reality of it. You're probably on the phone. Like, make the fucking time. You can absolutely make the time. You can find the time. Okay. And then when you do it enough, like what I was alluding to earlier, I find these pockets every week. And then those pockets of time, instead of being like open, okay, these open slots or these fuck around spots, because it's so consistent with it, I know that's when I can work on my projects. You guys will find that too. All right. But listen, thanks for tuning in. Do us a favor, share this with someone that needs to hear it, and we'll catch you on Financial Fitness Friday. Take care.
Be great, y'all.